Hey guys, it's Carly bringing you day number 31 of my 31 days of horror. Yes, we are finally down to the final day. I can't believe I actually made it through all the reviews. At first I didn't know if I would actually make it through, but here we are. So I'm pretty proud of myself. I gotta say, I had fun doing it, had fun checking out new movies as well as revisiting old movies, and it was fun while it lasted, but of course I'm getting a little burnout on the Halloween themed movies, and it's going to be nice to be able to watch some other stuff here soon. So for this last review, I'm doing a movie that I just recently watched, but it was the last really Halloweenish movie that I owned and could get my hands on in a timely manner. So I thought, instead of going out and buying any, I'll just rewatch this one again and do a review, because I mean, the first time I watched it was a first time watch for me, so this is only a second time watch, so it's not like it's gotten old or anything yet. It's a pretty fun movie, and that is Night of the Demons, the original one from the 80s, 1988 to be exact. Of course, this is a Scream Factory edition. Like, I did a review on the a remake and a couple reviews ago, and, you know, I did not really care for it. If you watch that review, I feel like this one is much superior. I don't like to compare the remakes with the originals too much, but it was hard not to since I had just watched this one recently as well, so the other one kind of fell flat for me. But I've never seen any sequels. I hear they're pretty decent, but for now, we're focused on this one. And basically, Night of the Demons is about a Halloween party taking place on Halloween night, hosted by this girl named Ange and her friend. They are at a old funeral home that was also the site of a murder, or the home of a murder or whatever. So it's got a dark history, and they invite some friends, different groups of friends over. I think there turns out to be like 6 to 10 or 8 or something like that friends. It's not too many. It's a very small little party, kind of more like a friendship gathering than like some major party, which I really like that style. I like just a bunch of actual friends hanging out and not just a big party of strangers bumping into each other. I think it's cool that they just wanted to party at this old, dark, abandoned place, and that's it. They just have their own music and stuff like that and bring their own food, drinks type deal. I think that's pretty cool, because that's something that I would prefer to do personally than go to some major party where I might lose all my friends and not know anyone there and get myself in trouble. So I like that aspect to it. I also like the totally 80s vibe behind it. It really, like, obviously this is from the 80s, but this is one of those movies where it just really stands out. Like, you can feel like what time period they're living in, and Halloween just seems so much cooler back then, and parties and things like that, they just seem so simple and just relaxed, like everyone's just having a fun time, and I really like that vibe to it. The characters in it are all pretty cool. They all have their different personalities going on, and I feel like you spend good amount of time with each of them, kind of get to see what they're doing and get to see how they kind of act and things like that. Really, this movie, it kind of gives me like a vibe of Evil Dead, because basically they go to this house and they hold a seance. I forgot to give the rest of the plot, sorry, but like the big scary thing is they have a seance, and then this sort of demonic presence starts to take over some of them, and the other ones are trying to escape. And like I said, it kind of feels like the Evil Dead. Like, even when the presence like comes about, it kind of does that whole like thing where it looks like the camera's just pushing in through the crowd and stuff like that. You kind of see that in the Evil Dead as well, which I like that movie too. I like the concept behind these types of possession movies. They're pretty creepy, and the way the demons look, the people when they become the demons, I think it's pretty creepy. Like, the effects and things like that are pretty solid. There's some creepy moments in this too, like I think it is Ange. Sorry, I get them confused. There's like a blonde girl and the girl with the dark hair, of course, and like wearing all black. That one, I think she's like pretty creepy, like when she starts kind of like dancing and doing all these weird things in front of the one guy character, and he's kind of like, I don't know, she's acting really weird type deal, because she is acting weird, and it's one of those things where it's just very unnatural the way she's acting, and it would creep me out in real life if I saw it. So things like that always give me the creeps in movies. And one thing is, the girl who plays Judy, the main, like, this girl right here, like the main kind of victim type character who's trying to escape, is kind of like a bad actor. I don't know if that's just how the character's supposed to be. I think it's half that and half that she's very not that great at acting. It comes off as very cheesy and stuff like that. Like her and the other dude, forget his name, black dude, I'm so bad with names, I'm sorry, but you know, they're kind of like the final people, final girl and final boy in the movie, and I don't know, they're not too strong. They're just kind of like sissies trying to get away. And that's really like my only complaint with it. I think it's a very fun movie with a lot of rewatchability behind it, and the ending is pretty great too, like the last scene. It feels like something that would be in like one of the Halloween films, honestly. And it's movies like this and Halloween 2 that made me convinced that every time I went trick-or-treating, I would definitely get an apple with a razor blade in it. And that never actually happened, but it's movies like this that make me feel that way and remind me of why I feel that way, because these movies make it seem like it was a very common thing back then. So that is pretty cool, and that is about it. That's about all I really have to say about this movie. It's also got a good like atmosphere behind it, because it's basically just taking place in this abandoned like crappy house. I like that to it as well. But it's a good Halloween movie. I recommend it for Halloween time. It's definitely got the great vibe behind it. So it's probably one that I will rewatch every Halloween season. I give Night of the Demons from 1988 a 8 out of 10. And that is it, guys, for my 31 days of horror. Thank you to everyone who actually stuck around and watched all my videos. I know it's hard to keep up with some videos. I try to keep up with everyone's who does these reviews, but there's just so many day after day. It's hard to keep up with them, so I appreciate the people who stuck around and left comments and things like that. I always enjoy reading the comments and replying to them when I get the chance. So thank you guys once again, and you know, I'll see you in another video, and hopefully next year for another 31 days of horror. See you later.